I'm Stephanie Liffland, and I'm originally from New Jersey, but I'm a graduate student here at the University of Minnesota, and I work in the chemistry department. I work in something called the Center for Sustainable Polymers, and it sounds really fancy, but a polymer is just a really big molecule that's made out of a lot of little smaller molecules. And common polymers that you might know are plastics. So plastic water bottles, your kind of Tupperware containers, the plastic in your toothbrush, the plastic in your shoes, things that you use every day. And so what I do is I try to make those plastics out of plants and in a way that's something we call sustainable. So it's not made out of oil, which isn't good because those things don't degrade in the environment and they contribute a lot to plastic waste, but rather we want to make them out of plants like corn. Because I make something called tri-block copolymers, and so it's a polymer that if you looked at it, it's got one block of something like an A unit, a B block in the middle, and then another A block at the end. So it's an A, a B, and an A. And so the amount of A that you have can really affect the overall properties that you get. So what I wanted to do was understand how if I add more or less of the A on the ends, how will that change the properties that my material has? So I synthesized a lot of different polymers that had different amounts of A and then tested them to see how stretchy they were, how long it took for them to break when you pulled on them, as well as how high you could heat them before they started to degrade. And that was to try to make polymers that you could use on a day-to-day basis. We use a plastic packaging and then you throw it away, and then where does it go from there? Not everything can be recycled, and a lot of things that are meant to be recycled are actually contaminated and can't, in fact, be recycled. And a lot of those plastic packagings are made from things like oil, and so the goal of our work is to make them out of things like plants so that when you do throw them away after you use them, they won't harm anything and they'll just kind of go back into the environment and be safe for everybody and everything in it. Something that teachers really focus on is critical thinking, and that's something that's important for being a scientist because you have to kind of think about what you're doing and the experiments that you want to run. So we read a lot and we think about things a lot, but it's also a lot of doing fun activities and setting up your own experiments and analyzing the polymers that we end up making in different ways. A lot of kids think that they aren't good at math or aren't good at science, and I think it's just finding what you like. I really liked to cook when I was little, and I really like the idea and the act of mixing things together and making something new, and so chemistry was really fun and interesting to me because you get to mix different chemicals together, make something new, and it's really interesting and exciting. So it's a lot like cooking. So if you like cooking, you might like chemistry too.